Oh my goodness, we're here! Oh my gosh. What a freaking ride. Wow, 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 wow. I know technically the stream's supposed to be live like right now. Flying by the seat of our pants today. You guys could probably imagine why. So thank you for your quick patience on your just like 1 second. Oh my goodness. It's just answering some questions over on Reddit. Maybe we'll have some audience members join us to be able to refer to some things maybe that are said in the stream. I know that there are some questions out there already floating about release timings and stuff for various other users. We will cover some of those details, okay? So thank you for your patience. Really do appreciate it. Let's get this game started. That would be the best thing ever, right? That would be the best thing ever. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the official 1.0 release for Everspace 2. Oh my gosh, we're here. We made it. We made it. Oh, wow. Wow. It's what a day it has been, what a week it has been, what a couple of weeks. Geez, I don't even know what to say. I'm just like so giddy. Like I just want to, it's nuts. It's nuts. But okay, all right, I'm going to calm down a little bit. Okay, bring it in. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eric Schrader, the community ambassador for ROCKFISH Games, the creators of Everspace 2. Which is live right now on PC. So if you have Steam or good old games, you have access to this title. I know that there are some individuals out there on Game Pass going, wait, where's the update? Now, I do want to add some quick clarity here, all right? Just let's dive off into this direction. I know there's some questions in the chat about it. I know that there's some other elements floating around there. So, Game Pass, we pushed a different close to 1.0 version through Microsoft certification. It's still technically stuck in certification. So I got information like literally moments before this stream that it's probably gonna be close to a day until that's pushed through. Now, this build was pushed through, this not quite 1.0 was pushed through to avoid a very long certification process, which could otherwise take like 2 weeks. So you're getting it probably tomorrow, okay? Which bypassed a lot of these other issues that we generally have. And then the true 1.0 release, which is like, it's almost there, guys. Like if you're doing Game Pass, if you're concerned about starting a new save or anything like that, everything's gonna be fine. I can assure you, you can start the moment that goes live. That true 1.0 release that's gonna tweak just a little bit more is going to drop somewhere around a week from now. So happy to provide that clarity. It's crazy times right now. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's just, that's how it goes. So, thank you everybody for being here. I know that you could probably just be playing Everspace 2 instead, and if you do that alongside the stream, that's probably best, honestly, because that's awesome. Otherwise, if you're waiting for downloads or waiting to get out of work, I'm hoping to provide you a sound reason why Everspace 2 could be a game for you. So this is gonna be sort of an amalgamation stream of what it looks like from the beginning to some late game stuff, to giving you a retrospective of how this whole development cycle of early access being over 2 years, as well as full development being over 5. I'm gonna try so hard not to just ooze this ridiculous amount of energy. It's guys, it has been insane. It has been insane. All right, let's get into some gameplay. Let's do something, right? I was thinking about this before the stream, and again, we've been jumping around on so many different things. There's so many opportunities that we can showcase here. And what I want to do first is actually load up kind of a pre-save that we did. Let's see. I think this one actually would be fine. I think this one actually be fine. So this is kind of like the earlier game segments, spares and scrap, just to kind of give a way to move into this slowly. All right, we're gonna start with more of like, hey, if you start playing today, if you do the demo, This is going to be kind of where you're at and the capabilities that you'll have. And I just said demo. Speaking of that,
those keys.
Adam, I need you to pause. Speaking of the demo will be updated to 1.0 as well. I could really use some clarity on a team member knowing when that will go live, because I'm not sure if I've heard any news on that front. So that would be great. But we are updating the demo as well to 1.0. So it'll have all the reflected changes accordingly as well. The demo is live. I've just been told. Thank you, Casper. I appreciate that. The demo has been updated to 1.0. So if you're diving into the demo, you have all those respective changes right then and there. Good stuff. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna bypass this conversation because I want to get into some gameplay. So we're gonna go with the short version of what is Everspace 2, because so much here. Everspace 2 is a single player, open world RPG with looting and shooting mechanics. So there's been a lot of individuals and a lot of different chats who kind of see this and are like, oh yeah, so it's like another space sim. No, it's less like Elite Dangerous and it's more like Destiny, okay? So change your mindset of how you're approaching our title just right out of the gate. I know it was weird because you're like, oh, it's another space game, sort of. Yeah, but like, we've got this narrative-driven adventure. There's lots of places to go. I mean, the map, which I haven't explored much in this particular save, it's rather expansive. There's over 100 handcrafted locations you'll be going to and back from, depending on what your particular tasks are. And yeah, what a wild ride you'll be sent on in this single-player campaign. I also want to do one other thing, which is, I think I have this difficulty. Let's go up to Nightmare, because that's a great way to introduce everyone into the game, seeing me die repeatedly. All right. But last but not least, there are so many different directions that you can take with your play styles here, okay? The story is more or less linearized to carry you through and open up new places, and it's not like a choose your own adventure on that front. But as things open up, you can absolutely design entire builds around a ship that you enjoy, around play styles that you love. I mean, the itemization here starts getting deeper and deeper the more you progress. We're only at level 5, so you're not going to see much on this front. I'll show you another save a little bit later to capitalize on those details. But lots of different ships that you'll be finding in your travels that all do different things. For example, this bomber, it focuses on secondary weapons instead of having them as effectively consumables. You use them up. Now it's energy based, so your secondaries will recharge. You can use them effectively infinitely. You also have Vindicator, which is basically your drone boat, your summoner class, if you will. A lot of people enjoy this one. The Striker, oh my gosh, this is your up in the grill of your opponent. This is kind of a nice all-arounder, has some good boost, has some good firepower, good defenses, but yeah, it's a pleasant one. This is actually the starting ship that we are currently flying, just another visual variation, because all of these are modularly composed, so the body, the engines, and the wings are all unique. Whew. I told you there was a lot. This is the onboarding section, everyone. Don't worry, we're gonna keep going. We have the Interceptor. This one is also a jack of all trades, but puts a lot more focus on firepower. So if you want the guns and you don't really care too much about managing other things, like, yeah, Interceptor is a pretty good choice. And you know, we also have a space tank, because who doesn't like having an automated turret do the dirty work for you and massive numbers of hard points to just slaughter your foes, right? Good. Excellent. We also have a bunch of jobs, and I'm still using the dev build. I was gonna not do that for this live stream. Whoops. So you're not gonna see this many jobs. This is actually for testing purposes, but you'll be able to pick up jobs. You'll be able to shop for new items. Of course, those will be dropping all over the place. There's crafting to fill the gaps in where you're at. In fact, let's take a look at this. We have a level 1 marksman corrosion missile. Yikes. Let's go ahead and replace that. Either with something we have down here. That's much better. Yeah, we're level 5 right now, so some of this stuff is kind of garbage, like this cargo unit. So as you are dismantling things, like we just did a moment ago, like say we want to swap that shield out, get rid of this one. Anytime you're scrapping stuff, you get resources and you unlock blueprint progress. When that blueprint progress is reached, you can then craft that very specific item, like for example, the shield, we haven't quite reached. It said 2 out of 3 blueprint progress. If you scrap 3 of them, then you will be able to infinitely craft them at that particular rarity. Of course, there are multiple rarities to go for all these weapons and equipment. Do we have cargo units? No, we don't have cargo units. That's fine. That's fine. Whew. So much stuff to cover. Not enough time in a single live stream, but we're gonna use this. It should be fine on nightmare difficulty, right? Right? Let's see what our objective is, where we're at in this game. Good, excellent. We need to go to Charybdis Bowl. Just to test to make sure that we're not like significantly outgunned. Let's just go up against this same level Proto Scout. I think there's 2 of them there. Okay, good. That's not doing a lot of damage at all. I was kind of hoping that would. Oh, okay, nailed it. Perfect. Definitely a bit beefier, and I really don't want to get hit like at all. Cool. Neat. So the whole game is in a spaceship. You are always in the ship. You are the ship. Okay? For all intents and purposes, you are the ship. You do have a first-person view, and you can look around holding the left alt, or if you prefer track IR, you can use that as well. I do not have it currently enabled, but it works like a charm. There's also a first-person without the HUD. Without the HUD. Man, there are so many questions, and I'm completely ignoring the chats. Whew. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you what, I am so glad that we have Gary, another one of our community managers, present with us. Hi, Gary.
Hello.
Wonderful. He is grabbing all of those questions that I am completely missing because there's so much to talk about, so much to share for people to understand what we are offering here. And at a certain point, we will take all of those questions that I have missed, and we will be answering those if you have not been answered in the chat yet, okay? So thanks for your patience on that. We know there's gonna be a lot of questions. We'll get you covered. We will get you covered. Okay, so I think our build's okay. Early game, high difficulty is always one of those fickle things, I think, but we're gonna try and pull off anyway. I do have some jobs floating around. So if we look at our map here, you can see I've got this minesweeper job over there, a search and destroy. This is probably, oh, this is repel attackers. Excellent. So we're gonna try doing a couple of jobs to increase our renown. As you reach different levels of renown, you unlock little items to give you a boost where you are at. Cool. It also gives you permanent benefits too, like credits earned from jobs are increased by 25%. Higher level job opportunities with greater rewards are available. Jobs will always reward an item, etc., etc. The higher you go. Let's get back to flying. Complete some tasks. I see some folks, a lot of folks, saying they are starting new games and you're going on very hard. Oh yeah, that's great to hear. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see.
We're in trouble. Hostiles on all sides.
There he is.
All right. Let's see what we can do for our friends over here. Cool. I'm a little hesitant to use my ult right now. That doesn't mean I'm gonna forget about it later, but let me tell you what. There's only a couple foes here. I wanna save it for when the going gets real tough. Nice. Random container, just some scrap.
Looks like that was it. Thanks for your help.
Hello, this Nifty Station?
You're speaking to Nifty Station?
Job's complete.
Good.
I want my payment.
Signature's fine. Here you go.
Excellent, excellent. Just gonna clear this out. But as we completed that job, you saw we got some credits. Actually, a pretty decent number of credits. Let's actually explore that a little bit further. And this little bar, this tiny little bar right here actually went up. And once we reach certain tiers, as we've reached the rookie status, we can claim those rewards. So we just got all of these items, a little credit boost, a decal, this rookie decal, And you'll keep getting those the higher renown you get. Ooh, that's so much better. I think we have to use it. My energy core situation is freaking me out a little bit. I think we need a new one. Let's see if we can actually, I think that we can actually craft energy cores. Yeah, let's just craft a new one. So yeah, that's just a straight improvement, and we're really gonna need that as we keep going up. We don't want to fall behind on energy cores at all. Let's see if we can further modify this. Maybe can we increase the rarity? No, we don't have the ability to yet. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. All right. So let's make a little bit more progress here in the early game, just so you can get a pretty strong feel how this thing flows. And then we'll get to the crazy fun stuff. My goodness, commodities, look at that. There is a commodity system in place, so if you do like space trucking, there are elements of it here. That is not a focal point, right? It's not like the big thing that you do, but it's definitely possible. You can find some optimized trade routes to maximize some credit gains. So if you prefer that style of play, it's present, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be nice for you. Let's do one more of our jobs, actually. Let's do this search and destroy. What could possibly go wrong? And while we're flying over there, hey Gary, let's answer maybe a couple questions, if we can.
Cool. First up, Slureen over on YouTube wants to know what are the difference between early access very hard and 1.0 very hard, and between nightmarish and very hard. He's just wondering what's the differences in the highest levels of difficulty.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so effectively the differences in difficulty are mostly stat based. The differences of enemies, you're gonna have a different level of accuracy as well. And to my understanding, there can be a difference in quantity of enemies depending on the difficulty too. So yeah, that's gonna be the majority of it. In addition to that, when you're playing on Nightmare, and I'm hoping it happens, the volume is too high. I was kind of thinking it was. Here, let me adjust that. Let's just pop this down. Hopefully that'll be better. But hopefully it happens, but when you play on Nightmare, legendaries can randomly drop. Yeah, they can randomly drop from usually higher tier sources. So the likelihood of it dropping from a drone is basically not gonna happen, but it's possible. It's possible. So,
Here we go.
it'd be super cool if one of these chaps, even in this level 5 state, I mean, I highly doubt we're gonna see a legendary drop, but it is definitely possible, albeit unlikely. So far, so good. We're not having too much trouble with these guys. Let's just use the alt anyway. Nice.
Thank you.
Short and simple. Sometimes that's the best way to be with these jobs. So you can grab your stuff and be on your way. Ooh, ship color. All right, let's tackle that last job. I think it was just Minesweeper, but you know what? It's flying all the way across the map again, so we can answer another question.
Right, Pesky Husky over on YouTube would like to know how long did it take for the devs to code the game?
How long did it take to code the game?
On the quiet side as well for the streams.
Oh my goodness.
I know it's because I've got a British accent. You don't like the fact that, you know, I speak the King's English.
Oh my goodness. That is such a hard question to answer because there's been so much work over the course of 5 years, over 5 years. Honestly, I think like even the ideation phase, which is where you're putting together the vision of the game, like that started back in 2016, 2017. So it's been pretty, yeah. It's. I'm honestly not sure how to answer that question because it's just there's been so much. There's so much to that. Yeah. It's certainly been an incredible journey for all of our team members. We had to bring on new ones to ensure all these different prospects were being reached for that vision, as well as the support and the ideas that you guys brought to the table too. I mean, Everspace 2 was not just created by us and that's it. Like, we did early access because we know how much that can help make the game so much more into what it needs to be.
Time to clean this mess up.
So good stuff. I'm gonna clean up these minesweepers. Then we're gonna jump over to some later game situations and show off some legendaries that maybe haven't been shown yet at all, ever in a live stream, that have been hiding. That could be fun. I am gonna have to go back to one of my classic saves and showcase a legendary that I've just been absolutely loving to death. A little bit of minesweeping. This would be so much better with a flat cannon. Whew. Let's go ahead and answer another question while I'm just cleaning up this minefield.
Zelin82 over on Twitch is asking, does rarity increase? Sorry, that isn't actually, that's Fred Specvet. I was asking, does rarity increase with difficulty?
Does rarity increase with difficulty? No, we didn't want to do anything on the front of like, also, sorry, I just like maxed your voice out over on the stream. So rip headphone users, but it should be a lot better now. But in regards to the difficulties, and you know, again, there's 6 difficulties now. We didn't really want to content gate anything from any of these difficulties whatsoever. So that's why it's primarily stat-based. What you're gonna see between all of the different factors is not so much like drop rates or types of items that you can gain, stuff like that. And I know there's somebody out there like, well, Eric, you just said you can have legendaries drop in Nightmare. Yes, this is a reward for when you complete the game. Absolutely, absolutely. It is an unlock that you can then have access to. Yes. So otherwise, all of the standard difficulties, how you're diving in, they are exactly the same, aside from the literal challenge that your foes will bring to the table. And also some timers are adjusted.
All mines cleared.
So yeah.
Calling Nefty Station.
This is Nefty's station.
Now finish the job.
Affirming your signature. Thank you.
Excellent. So now after doing a couple of these jobs, just seeing how we have built up our renown ever so slightly further. Look at that, nice little boop. And we also, doing those jobs gave us pretty decent amount of credits. So this is something that we could go back and maybe even purchase a new ship and all that fun stuff. But instead of taking all that time to do that in this save, I just want to jump over to something else that's really cool. So let's do, let's see. We could do the rifting, we could do the Drake signal. Union system could be kind of fun. Let's go to rifting for now. Let's do a rift. Let's do a rift. The game is quite tough on standard, I see in the chats. Yes, it is. This game is not messing around. I will certainly agree with that. One of the things that we have as a sort of a foundation here at ROCKFISH is that we want our game to be something of a challenge, okay? That is because we don't want to play something that's not engaging or something that's gonna like pull us at, like, we want to try. We have to try. And so, yeah, from even the base level of the game, there has to be that level of challenge. Just straight making that known. Now, of course, we added the difficulties and a lot of accessibility options to boot. Sincerely, we have a lot of different elements that you can adjust and modify here to your liking, from various camera elements to the display to so many different types of input controls. And I mean, it doesn't stop there. I mean, we have like input smoothing, aiming sensitivity, auto aiming strength. There's a lot here that you can dabble with to get things closer to where you need to be. We do have accessibility options for like color deficiency mode, for color blindness. We've got all types of these, and I am not colorblind. I wasn't able to like officially test these and know if they were working, but I can actually confirm we had a user come over to PAX who was colorblind, and he was like, yeah, you know, I would really like to play this, but it's hard for me to tell these colors. And I was like, oh, hey, check this out. Swapped it around for him, and he was like, this is amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. Blah, blah, blah. Praise, worship, whatever. But I can confirm that at least for one colorblind individual, these options are rather satisfactory. So, cool. Let's get into the ship and our inventory very briefly. We need to get a legendary. We need to get a legendary. All right. Okay. You know what? I kind of don't want to wait. I kind of want the legendary now. Because we're showing stuff off, right? We're showing stuff off, right? So give me 1 second. Let's change this. Let's change this. Let's show something new. Something to be excited about in the late game. Could be fun. Here we are. I think this will do nicely. All right. Little tomfoolery in the background. Yay, dev controls. But what I have here is a legendary, courtesy of our backer, Dennis Svensson Duva. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Maybe I'm not. It's called the Pigeon Stare. This is a beam laser legendary. After hitting the same target for 2 seconds, the beam overloads and damage is increased by 30%. Destroying the target during this phase restores 50% weapon energy. So basically, it gets stronger the longer you focus on a target, and if that target dies, you get energy back to go focus on a new target. It also has a nice aesthetic. I quite like it. I quite like it. So, let's try this out in the Rift, shall we? Let's get this going. Man, it sure would be embarrassing if I didn't make it through a 200 lunacy, since we also did that last time. So let's up the ante to 250, right? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Here we go. 250, bro, 1,000. Well, I mean, I should point out though, because this is something to very much note. When you are looking at the rifts, this is a late game event, okay? This is a late game event. You unlock this ability to go through sort of a roguelite light. Whew. My goodness, naming conventions these days. It's a procedurally generated run through 4 areas that you're challenged with depending on the lunacy that you choose. So this difficulty over here that says very hard now, like, I mean, I can change this right now, of course, over to Nightmare. That doesn't matter at all in a Rift. The only thing that matters in a Rift is the lunacy. Only thing that matters in a Rift is the lunacy. So even if you're playing it very easy and you're like, oh, well, I'm gonna make the Rift super easy to like exploit or whatever and max out on Lunacy 1000, you are gonna get burned because that's not how it works. One more time, the lunacy does not care about the difficulty. Not even close. All right. Let's see how this goes. What could go wrong? Do we have, did I already explode? Is that, all right. Let's get the pigeon stare going. See if we can get it focused. Oh, oh man, yeah, we're already cruising for a bruising. I love it. Okay. Let's really get the focus down. I don't want that Weber drone. Let's get this Outlaw Viper. Oh yeah, that's much better. Much better. Let's get the teleport drone. Of course he teleported away. We're out of juice! Oh man. Now I'm not maximizing my tools here in this little bitty Vanguard, to which I should. A big thing about this ship is that you get bonus damage when you are behind your foes. It's one of its specialty traits, if you will. But for now, we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants. Oh, my targeting with this weapon is less than desirable at the moment. That felt good. Okay, let's get this Okar Prime Protector out of the picture because it's painful. Whoop! Nope. Don't want to deal with that. Where's that sniper drone? Tormentor? This guy needs to go. Oh, we're webbed! All right. We're gonna start using a few more of our tools. Our devices have a lot of splash damage capability. So we're gonna maximize that. Oh, come on, give the kill so I can get more energy. The good news about the Synchro Pulse is that it still does some serious damage, even to armor and hull. Oh, no thank you. No thank you. So even though we don't have a dedicated kinetic weapon per se, we can still lock down some pretty decent damage numbers, I think. Let's try and focus some crits. Shooting at the rear. Yeah, all those orange numbers are crits. Come on, awesome. So all these little effects and whatnot going on, these are devices that, an annihilator virus that bounds around from one target to another one, and then at a certain point they all pop like that. Another one we're using is called the corrosion injector, and it just dishes out some serious damage to a single target. There we go. And also for those wondering what in the world this static electricity stuff is going on around me, we are using a level 30 perk called Ride the Lightning. And as this stacks, it gives us protection against our foes in the form of retaliation. So when we are getting hit, it returns fire to them. If we have them maxed out, we can gain unlimited boost energy and increase our fire rate as well. Pretty nice, pretty nice. All right. Random item overheated. Enemies slowly repair their hull. Let's do random item overheated. What could possibly go wrong? As we're moving into the second level, let's answer some more questions as I attempt to do this. What could possibly go wrong? Let's do this.
Plenty can go wrong. Could you just reiterate a little bit about the whole Game Pass and Microsoft certification? We've had a lot of users on the various chats just wanting to, a bit of an update on that, if you could, please.
Yes, I totally understand. And guys, thank you so much for our patience on that. It's a little bit of an unfortunate outcome, but effectively, we were looking to kind of alleviate the Microsoft certification by sending out a not quite 1.0 update to get into your hands today. And I think it was because we had 2 pending certifications that kind of backfired, and now we have to wait for a certification just a tad longer. So it's gonna be approximately 24 hours-ish. You know, I think it'd be better just to say tomorrow when we will likely see an update. So yeah, that's how that's panning out. So we tried to beat the system, and the system still said no. So, but we will get that into your hands as soon as it can possibly be there. Whenever that 1.0 version is with you, the not quite 1.0, do not fret and think that you've been gypped a 1.0 true experience. Everything in that game is effectively done. The elements that aren't quite complete, a couple little wrap-ups, bug fixes, adjustments, things of that nature that you will then get in approximately a weekish time. after that level of certification is compiled. So that's the overarching gist of everything. Pretty sure. And there are team members in chat to where if I did miss anything at all, they can absolutely correct me, because, you know, this information legitimately came to our hands, oh my gosh, it was like 30 minutes before the full release, if Ingmar's here. It was just like, really? Seriously? Game dev sometimes, man. But yeah, so if there's anything we can do to push this through faster, we will.
Excellent. I think you may have answered this question a little bit earlier. I think it was from Fred Spectre. It was about legendaries. Do they drop in nightmare mode? I think I answered that one. Yeah.
So the main element about nightmare mode and legendaries, it is a very low chance. Okay, it is a very low chance, but legendaries can start dropping from like higher tier enemies like elites and stuff. Now, if for some ridiculous reason they were to drop while we're in a rift, like from a foe like this, that would absolutely be a bug. That wouldn't be intentional. It should be outside of rifts, but basically anywhere in the game, it is now possible, so long as you're playing on Nightmare after you unlock it. So yeah.
And Nightmare is only available after you completed the main
Correct. Correct. You must complete the storyline once. Oh boy, let's make some distance. No, thank you. This is a tricky position to be in. Oh, okay. I really need my EMP back up. Come back, EMP. Ah! Okay, that works. That works. There are so many missiles getting thrown around here. This prospector, your dang thermo gun. Trying to maximize our ults, because that's what's going to give us the clear advantage here in our Vanguard. It's all about being such a heavy hitter from the rear like that. Somewhat roguish in nature, if you will. Get out of here. Good, good. Wow, that mine was close. I'm not sure how we didn't get hit by that, but I'm certainly not complaining. Ooh, I don't like being locked down. Nope, 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 nope. Another Ravager. Oh my gosh! This is a rather savage one. Let's see if we can spread the damage love around here. Oh, that's much better. Much better. So go ahead and give me another question.
Right.
Let's keep going.
Right, Sicily72 is asking, what's the challenge but not brutal difficulty setting? Is normal tuned for casual play? So they want a challenge but not to have their face punched in.
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty fair question. Normal mode is, for all intents and purposes, the difficulty that we feel Everspace 2 is played best at. So if you are a gamer and you want to be gamering, that is what we recommend diving into the experience with. If you have struggles with shooting games in particular, you know, whether it's, you know, you're a little sluggish, or your eyesight's not what it used to be, you know, whatever the reason, if you feel like you are disadvantaged and you need a little bit of assistance, definitely very easy. They're going to give that added leeway through enemies being softer as well as missing you more. And if you are just an avid gamer and you're just like, oh yeah, I play all my games on the hardest mode, blah blah blah, and you just want a challenge, then yeah, like slap it on very hard, like I do basically every stream. That would be the recommendation. So yeah, but normal, yeah, that's the way we generally feel the game should be experienced at. Oh, not deal area damage at death. That would be awful. Increased movement speed. Oh, all three of these choices are bad. So the reason why I'm looking at these little portals, and if you can read that text right there, each time you go through a new rift, you get a stacked mutator on top of what's going on. So we are having overheated systems randomly occurring to our ship. So like right now our sensors are overheated. That's not so bad. And when we go through here, enemy name types are then going to be hidden. Could be tricky if there are specific enemies that I need to hunt down, like maybe like a sniper drone. Might get lost in the fray if I can't see the name specifically. Hopefully we can track down the shots. But yeah, as you can see, they're all just going to be referred to as ancient. Whoop. I'm already way more into the fray than I should be. Oh god. They're all around me. What was I thinking? Hang on a second. Let's reorient ourselves. A little bit of careful. 6 degrees of freedom dodging, no big deal. Trying to break all the parts of this guy off. These ships have armor. You can see it kind of highlighting, but man, I'm kind of crushing them all over the place, so it might be hard to see. But every little bit of armor plating that you take out on these guys dishes out a significant amount of damage to them and makes it easier to do damage to them as well. So, yeah. Those are mines. Those are not foes. Woo! All right. Okay, we gotta find a way to last here because things could get real intense. Oh, come on. Pulse laser overheat. Oh, that was bad timing. That was rough. And we don't want this raider to give us any more slowdown. That's why we're focused on him. Whoa, boy. Yikes. All right. Oh, no. Just ate that. You need to go away, sir. Ooh, boy. All right. Let's go after the smaller targets. Maybe that'll be more effective. Oh, we're running out of time. So if you look over on the right side, you'll see progress and resolve. You have to maintain your resolve, else you lose. Good day, sir. And your resolve is gained by destroying enemies. That's right. I heard every single one of you who is watching right now say that. Okay. Ah, yikes. All right, this is our new big target. Okay. This is gonna be nasty because we're about to lose our ult. Oh no. Come on. Oh, that's not good. Resolve is looking way too close for comfort. We might not end up making this. Oh gosh! Ah! Racing against time.
Unexposed. Armor gone. Observe stats periodically to ensure they are not depleted in combat.
Come on. All right. Getting a little bit of it back. It's still pretty close, much closer than I would like it to be. Let's get some drones out. That should help. But yeah, as a reminder, this is Lunacy 250, and again, the difficulty don't care what you are playing at. Doesn't matter if you're on very easy or very hard or whatever. The lunacy is all that matters here. Okay, all right. New target. You must go down, Redeemer. Do not like that coil gun on me. I also don't like these mines being thrown at us. Goodness. For that reason right there. Oh man, it's close again! Come on, come on. I see some weak foes. Come on. We're weak. Ah! Oh, come on. Oh, thank you, drones. You just saved us. Oh. Also, using the ult saved us too. Hey guys, never forget to use your ult. It's important. Woo! I have my concerns against the final boss, but we do have a secret weapon up our sleeve. 2 of them, in fact. Come on, come on. Almost there. Just get some distance from everything going on. Whew. Okay. No big deal. It's fine. Everything's good. Also, Hans Christian, I'm so sorry. This bug is back. Snuck back in. The full release build. These dang drones. Don't you worry about that, guys. That's not game breaking, I don't think. All right. Secret weapon. We got some powerful rockets. So if things go south, we unleash the fury. Whew. All right. So let's just start things off a little bit more slowly. Oh yeah, even more slowly. See what I did there? Drain the shields off first. Oh great, our secondary weapons got hurt. All right, now it's go mode. Oh yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Let's just look at this missile barrage we've got going on in slow motion. All these beautiful missiles. Yeah. Yeah, I think we got them. I think we got them. I think that's GG. All right. And I see a legendary. What is it? Which one? We got another one to show. Oh boy. All right. I'm excited. Woo! All right. And don't worry, you don't have to pick up that loot. It goes with you. It goes with you. Woo! We're fine. Yeah, exactly. That's a little closer than I thought it was going to be, admittedly, but you know, it happens. So look, we got the RGBeam Laser here. Another legendary.
This is something. Holy scrap. Where did this come from?
So a little bit funny, because these are the only 2 legendary beam lasers, but we got both of them. So let's go ahead and just swap to the RGBeam Laser and show you what that one looks like. Also, this one complements to Salty Pretzel, a backer way back, 70 years ago, backing Everspace 2. Thank you so much for the support. RGBeam Laser. This was his concept, this was his idea. And it looks like this. Oh, see that movement around? When we are at this state, we are doing a ridiculous amount of damage, okay? But it's admittedly a little bit harder to control, okay? Admittedly a little bit harder to control. So let's read this. Sequentially alternates between 3 states while firing. Red increases kinetic damage by 40%, green increases critical hit damage by 160%, and blue increases energy damage by 40%. After 6 seconds of constant fire, that extreme changing. The beam engages RGB mode, applying all 3 bonuses at the same freaking time, but it's harder to control. So yeah, it can be nuts. Yeah, so I'm hoping that we maybe get another legendary to pair with this bad boy, because there's 2 that go into rave mode. There's 2 of them. Yeah, there's 2 of them. If you haven't watched the release trailer, maybe you have an eye to catch what I may be referring to. All right. That was fun. That was pleasant. So let's take a breather and answer questions in a little bit more of a calm state, so we can reach the folks at home. So what do we got, Gary? What do we got?
We have a question from T3Cube over on Twitch. If you're a seasoned veteran, will there be an option to do some form of cheat code to allow for early nightmare difficulty? I think it's obviously experienced pilots that have maybe played a lot of Everspace 2.
Yeah.
I think. Can we just unlock nightmare?
So what I would recommend, you know, we've said countless times, like, there's going to be a save wipe, blah, 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 and you want to start fresh, blah, blah, blah. Yes. There's no longer a save wipe, for those wondering. You can use your old saves. We do still recommend a new save, however. In this case, if you veterans who have been playing early access over and over and over ago want to unlock Nightmare, use your save, finish the game, and then start a new one. That's an option.
Okay.
It's an option. But otherwise, I still recommend starting a new game. So, yeah. All right.
Excellent.
Next one.
Slorine over on YouTube. There was some talk of making Hive more derisive on lower difficulty. Has that been added, or is it still on the table? Don't know where that came from, but to be fair.
I don't think that's still on the table, no. Next question, please.
I think there's been more lines put in so people are aware that he can be a little bit derisive still at times, but yeah, we haven't done that in any difficulty as such.
Yeah, for sure.
I know this question has come up before internally, but people have noticed that the photo mode can no longer enter model interiors.
Yes.
Is there going to be a way to make it like it was in early access?
So I'm glad that you guys brought that up. The short of it is I can't confirm if we're going to bring that back or not. But when we did it, internally we went, that kind of sucks. I wonder what we can do about this. So hopefully there can be an adjustment, but I cannot guarantee anything. Just know that we have the exact same sentiments, actually. We have the exact same sentiments. So if we can figure out a way to keep the ship apart from basically everything else so that your photo mode can in fact go into the ship and look out of the cockpit, because that was freaking awesome, then we will do that. But again, we know this is what you guys want. We recognize it. Can't quite guarantee that. Can't. So please know that we hear that for sure. We hear that for sure. So, yep. Next question, please.
Next question is from Randy over on Twitch. What does resolve mean in the Rift? Is it something to do with the player or the enemy?
Your resolve is the stabilization of the Rift. So the Rift will stabilize the more madness tiers you're effectively invoking, and you gain those by destroying vessels stuck in this Rift-like state. As your resolve increases, the Rift becomes more stable and you stay. If you do not gain stabilization, you will be completely kicked out and would have to start a completely new Rift.
Excellent. Some people have just asked a question earlier, which I did answer, and if you could just have a little show through of the modules on the ship.
We're almost there. Etc. We're almost there. Yeah, I've been tweaking a number of little details I'm sure you've been noticing. And yeah, I'm going to kind of just go yellow here. But yeah, let's jump over to the ship modules. Do I not have any unlocked in this build? Of course I don't. That's brilliant. Timing. That's brilliant. Oh my gosh. Well, you know, we can't have this. We can't have this. One second. I want to show you modules. Like, come on. Give me 1 second. I'll fix this. And I'll tell you exactly how to unlock these things, okay? It's not by having a dev command behind to make sure all the freaking modules are working accordingly. Nay, I say to thee, it is in fact by firing at enemies and getting their loot drops. It has a similar loot pool as ship colors. So, the same way that you would acquire the ship colors is the exact same way, all of these bad boys, it's the exact same way you would acquire these different modules. And if you guys have not read the 1.0 informations yet, I would like to point out that there are more modules coming. So, the medium ship classes basically have all of them. Nah, that's not true. There's actually more coming to the mediums too. But they have the most of them. The light ships and the heavy ships, they will have a decent number more coming, I think. Decent number more. So we can kind of say, hey, which one do we want to use? I like this type D. No, I like the type C. I like the type C here. Different wings. What you can see here is we have this Mercury 4, but it's blocked out. Because we're flying a Mercury 3, you cannot customize the visual aesthetic of your ship to a higher tier. You can only customize it to lower tier options. Okay? But you can also customize a tier 4 to like tier 1 as well. So depending on which tier you're at, you can customize at that tier and below. We can also completely change types. Like so. I think we want to go up to the Harbinger 3 here. This is nice. We'll do that. And then last but not least, we'll adjust the engine. I want to go over to, where's that? Yeah, this one, type 4. I'm much more pleased with this result. So over time, you will be collecting all these modular parts. Again, they will be drops from your foes that you'll be able to, maximize and collect. Now, there's a number of other things that I kind of want to show here. I think we might be able to purchase, how many? Oh, we have like no credits. Well, I can at least go to Mr. Cato and show you something that's fun and neat and fantastic. Because in the late game, fashion is the real late game I see. Oh my gosh, yep. You know it. Though I will say, I feel like the team, all of us, we've done a pretty good job of making sure you're building up your options, even aesthetically, over time through the game experience.
Ooh, I could get spoiled by the ease of spatial bypass travel.
I mean, shoot, even just watching other streamers through early access and also like our, I think that we could most notably see what Co-Carnage has been doing in his stream. He's had his 10-year anniversary stream, and he's been highlighting a lot of really cool stuff. He's been customizing his ship as he's going through the motions, going through the story. And you can see the very progress he's made on his ship, which is kind of cool. Kind of freaking cool. So, here, do I not have the perk unlocked? Oh my gosh, terrain? What in the, I had to have loaded the wrong build, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Let me get this straightened out too. Gosh, dang it. What in the world? Oh, there weren't 1,500 things that we were dealing with all week or anything, nothing like that whatsoever. So, goodness gravy, wow. All right, one more thing.
Commands for the win.
Oh, goodness gravy. It's ridiculous. All is supposed to be done before, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry. All right, so now when we stop at Cato Palace, wow, look at that, a ship dealer, because we got this very specific perk from Tureen that says Tureen convinces Cato to offer top tier ships for sale at Cato Palace. I just want to show you how these ships look, because dang, I feel like there's been such wonderful work on these models. So like, oh my gosh, I love the look of the Vanguard now. Like I've like splurged over it. I know that I've been playing the Vanguard a lot. It's growing on me just because of that speed. But yeah. We got the Scout here. Oh yeah, look at those wings. Oh yes. Ah yes. We got the Stinger here. Now you can't see it, but the engines, these are actually the engines. The mouse that I'm doing, these are the engines in addition to that. So when you're thrusting, your engine color comes out the sides here. Oh, it's so glorious. I might have to buy this just to show you what I'm talking about, with illegal cheats again. But we also have the striker here. Look at that. Definitely some souped up wings to go. We've got this Sentinel version, which in fact, this should be reminiscent, if not very close to, one of the wing types from the prototype. From the Everspace 2 prototype, guys. Holy crap. Obviously, it's been a little more refined over the years. We have the Interceptor. Oh gosh, that's a sexy ship right there. I am a fan of that one. Goodness. Wow. All right. Very nice, very nice. We got the gunship. Love the aesthetic here. I love the, it's almost like it has this organic movement through this entire piece, this entire structure. A bomber, Titan wings. It's got like almost like this double wing thing going on. It's too, this ship's too large. You can't. It's wonderful. And last but not least, the Vindicator in all of its glory. And these wings that have just chunked up even further. These nice clean lines. As you can see, all of the tier 4 ships have even more emissive lights to add that extra little flair and pizzazz. Like these little, I don't know what to call them, like orbs, I suppose, on your ship. Don't worry, they're not weak points for you. But they do glow with an emissive color choice that you choose. Whew. There's so much here. There's so much here. And I think right now is actually a good time to take a brief look at where we've come from. Like just taking like a retrospective, and this is gonna be a little bit more loose fit. There's not gonna be any sort of like crazy slideshows or anything in a presentation here. But I just kind of wanted to walk through a little bit of like where Everspace 2 has come from and see just how much it's freaking transformed. I'm tempted, actually I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pull up the prototype. Okay, we're gonna pull up the prototype really quick. We're gonna stream that for just a moment. Just a moment. Just to like see how far things have truly come. Oh my goodness, this is nuts. Actually nuts to me. Wow. And of course, as I'm going through these elements, we are going to also, you know, go through. Is the music coming through? Okay, no. Okay. We're gonna go through a number of your questions still, because I know you've got more. I know they're still coming in. So let's just hopefully this picks up. This wasn't actually planned. I just thought that this would be fun. Look at this. It's the prototype, guys. And this is in the hands of our backers, but it's kind of like this exclusive first look, honestly. Like this, it says early prototype for a very specific reason. This has you know, core ideas and concepts that we hadn't fully fleshed out yet at all. So what could go wrong with starting a new game? I think that this will be okay. Just have a frame rate. Oh my gosh, the OBS does not like this at all. So before my computer catches fire, just look at this single screen. That's all you're gonna get to look at. Wow, the optimization. Oh my goodness. Yep. Okay, so this is probably why this wasn't in the mix. All right, hold technical difficulties. Please hold. My goodness, wow. There is just a sliver, wow. That's actually wild. I think that things have optimized a little bit further, I would say. But that was not expected to happen at all. Oh my gosh, guys. That was nuts. Okay. Glad that there wasn't an official segment we were planning to do with that. That would have been insanely impossible to pull off. So, but yeah, so let's take a trip back now. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go through just like little segments in history together, just to see just how far, honestly, Everspace 2 has come. So we're gonna go over here to the chat segment here. I think this is fine. Can we full screen this or something? Is that, yeah, there we go. And this is going all the way back to when we first dropped Everspace 2, okay? This is the official early access launch. So this is after that absolutely atrociously not optimized prototype. And what you see here is, let me get even closer. Let's maximize this puppy. Here we go. The patch notes for version, basically this is version 4 of the prototype, if you will, of Everspace 2. And I'm not gonna like read through all this type of stuff, but just wanna like highlight where things have come from. Cause like even here, this is when we added like crosshair mouse controls. What? We added the show mouse dead zone on screen, which I use very much all the time. Added the option to show HUD center on screen, right? Like these things were added then so long ago, right? So long ago. We've got all these balancing elements, like increased gunship's alt turret range, amount per kill, you know, so much love to the gunship actually in this particular build. Lots of bug fixes, you know, making capital ships of Praetor immune to EMP and web debuffs. Some people still question if we should have done that to this day. My goodness, this was January 18th, 2021. January 18th. No, this was February 4th. February 4th, 2021. Actually, we might even had, hang on a second. Let me, is this one even further back? Hang on. It goes back further than this. Hang on a second. Well, it does technically go back further than this, but no, this is gonna be the one we start on. So yeah, January 4th, all the way back here. Now let's keep moving on through this. This is the next one. This is where we were at in April the 28th, where we released our first big content update, okay? Big content update. And I mean, look at all these features that were added and the tweaks and the balancing. Like this is not a small drop at all, right? Not a small drop at all. In just a couple of months, we were already adding new equipment, new factions, new enemy types, new equipment pieces, new companions. The bomber had just hit here. Goodness. NVIDIA DLSS setting, we added the experimental HDR support, which admittedly is still in an experimental state. Let's see, we have, goodness, the manual saving was now possible here. Wow, what a throwback. It just keeps going. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna move through this a little bit faster because it's taken longer than I thought it was going to. We go into August, the next big update patch, releasing Zarkov the Vortex. Zarkov the Vortex back in August of 2021, adding new ship, tons of new side missions, even more item types. The fusion hook was added in here. Look at this go. We increased the max level to 18. Wow. 18 all the way back there. Whew, but there was still so much content to be had, even cruising through it. This was also before we had level scaling removed. So at this time, a lot of enemies were really close to you. It was intentionally designed that way, but yeah, we ended up changing that because we didn't want it in the full release. So, but yeah, so much here. Gosh, look at this full release. Let's move to the next one. Let's keep going. This one's November 3rd. Man, I got so many freaking messages popping up. I wonder why. Kite Nebula, Stranger Skies. Even more to the story. Massive changelog. Oh my gosh, just like look at this ridiculousness. New faction, the Redeemers were added. Oh my gosh, what a delight, what a pleasure. Concept art, new gameplay, ancient puzzles. The Vindicator was added. Oh yes. That's a big one. You guys are a pretty large fan of this one. Rather pleasing, feels good. New story content, companion, perks. Call of the Navigator, which was giving us the location scanner. Wow, that was a game changer, I feel like, for a lot of people. I feel like that was a game changer for a lot of people. For those of you who missed it or didn't even realize this, Kala was the one who added the ability to know your percentage of completion in the various areas. This happened, goodness gravy, November 3rd of 2021. Nate, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. I also just casually looked over at the chat and I see somebody say Game Pass fail. You know, I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry that you feel that way. We actually tried to cut corners for you to bypass the certification process. Yeah, you know, it sucks, but it's gonna be about, you know, a day longer, 24 hours. So we appreciate your patience on that front. Because otherwise, if we would have done it by the books, you'd probably be waiting 2 weeks. So hopefully you can accept the fact that 24 hours is in fact less than 2 weeks. But yeah, we'll get it to you as soon as we can. As soon as we can push it out the door, we will do so. All right, let's go on to April 1st of 2022. The first one in 2022, all of these patch notes, the change logs, going through so much of the text localization. Oh my gosh, the Stinger was introduced. We have the Okar Prime. Wow, absolutely nuts, absolutely wild. We had more prefixes added to the game. Oh my goodness, the itemization kept getting expanded on. The mineable resources were completely redone in this one. If you guys remember before, you just like had a single spot, you just kept shooting over, pew, 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 pew. I was gonna show you that in the prototype, but you know, that didn't work out. Single spot, you keep shooting until it just gives you all the resources right there. We changed the visual look and feel of all of that. So, gosh dang. Ridiculous, ridiculous. That's the beginning of, that's the April 1st. That was not an April Fool's Day joke. We move into August 5th. This is August 5th, Drake Gang Wars. Hitting another massive update. Gosh, every single, like, look, I just keep scrolling. Every single one of these major updates, like, just, I honestly don't know how we have reached 1.0 in some cases. Like, this team is wild. This team is insane. Every single one of these, the features added, the tweaks that went back and adjusted all of the different various settings and balance issues and even additions to the game because of your guys' feedback. Another one, November 23rd. This one is what a lot of you guys were playing right before today. This was the fall update. The Ancient Rifts, we're there, we're almost there, November 23rd. Wow. We still had the text-to-speech, and some people were concerned that for some reason it was gonna be continue to be used. No, there was always placeholder. That's why in-game, when the text-to-speech is playing, under the dialogue, it would say text-to-speech placeholder. Not sure how we could better convey that, but regardless, yeah, fully voiced by both English and German. Man, that kind of sounded like I was dogging on people. That came across a little bit more salty than it probably should have. But yeah, like, it's also kind of ironic though, because you guys did enjoy the text-to-speech so much that of course we have Bang Jack now at the Charybdis Bowl who uses text-to-speech permanently. That is his voice. We were gonna have voice lines recorded, and in fact, I believe we did. Michael, you can confirm or deny that. Pretty sure we actually had voice lines recorded for that character, and then we were like, you know what, the community wants this, so we're gonna keep it. So thank you, good work guys. GG. Very good, very good. Wow, this was version number 10 of Everspace 2. Version 10, major version of Everspace 2, where we were added, you know, the Raider, the Tormentor, the cruise missiles, the front shield generator, the Titan bomber, the Dominator gunship. So many more jobs. Oh my gosh. Insanity. It just keeps going. Look at all this balancing. Goodness gravy. Hans Christian, I am so sorry. Jeez. Actually, Hans Christian, are you in the chat? What is our number at now? Is it at or below 400? I know that you've done such a, that, guys, we had over like 1,200 elements that needed to be adjusted like weeks ago. And this team, in particular, I want to highlight Hans Christian. He's one of the lead developers on Everspace 2. He has been cracking through that list. I think he completed like over 700 one of these targeted issues in the matter of probably about a month's time. That is a mad lad right there. That's one member of this incredible team, ladies and gentlemen. That's one member of this incredible team. Not that he didn't have some assistance poking in from here, but I digress. Just pointing that out. Just, wow. Just insanity. Gosh, look at all the oh my goodness. Just looking at all the compiling every single one of these like bug fixes and tweaks and everything. If we were to make just a solid list here, my goodness, we got a novel on our hands. Goodness, what a trip. What an absolute ride it has been, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, you know, that absolutely brings us here. That absolutely brings us here. Right here. So if you haven't read this yet, I'll go through this one with a little bit more care and detail. But yeah, it's launch day, ladies and gentlemen. It is out for PC. It will be out for Game Pass soon, very likely tomorrow. We've got a lot of elements to continue working. It's also on GOG. It's live on Good Old Games. We're still doing a little bit of refinement processing to the Steam Deck as well as Mac OS. And of course, we do have consoles for the PlayStation 5 as well as the Xbox Series X and S in line to reach us this summer. When this summer? I'm sure somebody's gonna follow up and ask that question. I can't tell you, actually. We need time. We got to get it right. We got to make sure it's coming through. And yeah, so we'll have more information on that when we have more information. Cool. But yeah, there's a trailer. If you haven't watched the trailer, you should go watch it. I think it'd be weird to watch the trailer here while talking about it. So yeah, it's fun. You can, if you're the clever of you, we have wonderful chatter in that trailer, actually. Some pleasant folks saying like, oh, I caught this. Did you catch this? You guys are clever. I love it. I love it. We had this look back to the Everspace campaign. This, I think we might play this right now. I think we should do this. This is... Oh my gosh. Wait, is the sound not coming through? No sound? I'd have to set up all this stuff. Oh my goodness. Well, here, let's just like jump through some highlights here where, you know, we have beautiful Michael. Oh my gosh, dude, Michael, you look like you're 15 years younger in this. What in the world? That is a most impressive clean shave. That's what it's got to come down to. Oh my goodness, that's nuts. I also just realized I made it sound like my boss looks old. This is live. Well, all right, we're just gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Michael, you look great. Don't stop being you. Excellent. Look at that. Oh my gosh, you see that character right there? Look at this. We showed this years ago. Oh my gosh, this character, you know who this is? Do you know who this is? You probably don't know yet because he was added in the 1.0 launch. So yeah, get on that. Oh my gosh, all these preliminary setups. Oh my goodness, wow. Wow. Okay, just nuts. Casper, you look, I don't know how you haven't aged today. That's actually absurd to me. This was pre-kid and he still looks great. Oh man. Let me know what lotion you use. That is insane. So good. We got this guy. Fun fact, I didn't have like a green screen setup at the time of this, and Michael and I were kind of like, how do we fit our community ambassador into sort of this space? But you might even notice, this is blocking it, but the title there says QA and game designer, okay? QA and game designer. So this was actually prior to me becoming your community ambassador. There's a bit of a story there. We're not gonna go into it because right now we're talking about Everspace 2. So good. But I went to like a little studio to get a green screen to record this little segment of the Kickstarter. Oh my gosh. Woo! What a fun time. And even like the interface is so different. Look, remember the logos? Wow! Oh my gosh, I forgot the logos. Oh, I am so giddy. This is so, like, this throwback is so incredibly exciting for me. This is nuts. Also, all of this video, like, this is on our YouTube page. So if you're like watching me like splurge and like, okay, I can't take this man's energy, I kind of apologize because I'm just a high energy person, but also I'm not gonna apologize because one freaking oh, baby. I am on cloud nine, okay? And but yeah, you can watch any of these videos on our YouTube. This is from the prototype. Wow, oh my goodness. The first look at a legendary autocannon. Wow, that's changed a little bit. My goodness, Uva over here. Yep, nice. Looking great as always. That man is a machine, honestly, when it comes to physical health. So is Michael, freaking. They're always doing something like bike riding or hiking a casual mountain that's like 10,000 kilometers tall. It's nuts. They're impressive. They're wonderful people. Let's see. And we also like topped it off with a little bit of trailers of what's to come. Man, I'm just gonna play this even though there's no sound, just right here, just to see. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Now this actually still looks pretty good and pretty decent to the, you know, the core experience that we ended up hitting. But man, that's wow. This is nuts to me. All right, now we get into some secret details too. This is fun. All right, here we are. We've got some gameplay features that you can cleverly see here of what we had designed. This was last modified, you can see here, last modified November 9th, 2017. And it was probably touched up because the editing was wrong on the page and they needed to format it differently. But like this is like the foundation of what Everspace 2 looked like. I want to kind of move over so you can see all of this as much as possible. This is also in the announcement on Steam. Like, you can follow this and, you know, zoom in even closer if you want to. But the first tier features was that it needed to be an open world exploration, space combat, narrative driven game. 1, 2, 3. Second tier features: game world, home base, and economy system, player ships for space combat, NPC units, friend, neutral, and foes, and 3D orbits. The levels themselves for space combat, the narratives, the hero story, the lore, and the cinematics. All right. Every single item on those completely reached. Third tier, we could go into even more detail, but let me just say that out in 2017, with our initial vision being these elements, I am rather confident that every single one of them was hit. Every single one of our core initial vision was actually hit. I'm checking right now to make sure that I'm not being like silly on this front. And yeah, there's been a couple of adjustments to how some of them came together. Okay, all right. So it's like 95, okay? For coming up with an idea back in 2017 to where we're at now, alongside community support, that is ridiculous. That is actually absurd, okay? Wow. And then we have even more information. Oh man, I don't actually want to go through all of this because it's so much. But the point is that Michael is a madman and this team are crazy. That's it. The end. Stream's over. Jeez. 2017 hasn't really been that long. Yeah. So early access hasn't. Early access was only a little over 2 years. But yeah, development, like the concept phase of games, like before you even see the first graphic of the game, of course, it's got to be written down and compiled, and you know, you have your all of your tools to put those elements together, right? Like that's where this is coming from. This is before even the prototype was made, right? So yeah, that ideation started in the minds of Uva and Michael and key members of the team to make sure everything brought together. I know Marco was involved, Andy, Hans Christian, goodness, so many key players here to make sure that everything would reach the destination we were aiming for. And then there's words here. Again, you can read this on, you know, on the actual thing, but basically it's saying things are good, we're excited, thank you for your support. Then we have this Kione star system, or is it Kion? I don't actually know how to pronounce it. I need Hive. Hive, please help me understand how to pronounce this. I think it's Kion. Last star system that you'll be able to enjoy. We did say there would be at least star systems, and there are, in fact, at least 6 star systems. We're very pleased with the results of this one. Once you get there, I think you will enjoy it too. We also have the final story chapter. Gee, spoilers, Michael, why would you share? It's fine. But yeah, anyway. Events of Everspace 1 do carry over to Everspace 2. I imagine that some of you probably recognize that there would be some carryovers. But yeah, new boss fights, new legendaries, new player perks. Fun. Tier 4 ships, we actually showed you all of those earlier in the stream. Wonderful. Commodity trading, definitely had a blast. Nightmare difficulty, yeah, wow. And then we have down here at the bottom what comes next. So much more. So I just want to say that if you guys continue coming to these streams, as we continue our journey into more Everspace 2, we're gonna still give you little teases. We're gonna still show you what's going on internally. We're gonna give you that slice of pie to be excited about, because we still have a bit of free content we just want to push out there. You don't have to make any purchases. It's just like, the game is done at 1.0, but let's have some fun and make some more stuff. There's some stuff that we would just like to add. We think it would be great. So we're gonna do that. You'll get it completely for free. We also want to work on some story-driven components, some a little bit more expansive than not. And in order to do that, we have received a government grant over in Germany, our home base, if you will, and are going after a pretty sizable expansion for Everspace 2, which will be out scheduled about mid to late 2024. I'm sure it's probably written like mid 2024 here, but I'm just gonna say mid to late, just to cover right now. You never know what's gonna happen. Hopefully it's gonna be mid though. Yeah, there's probably gonna be an imminent hotfix. It's bound to happen, internally, and all of our little NDA testers and stuff. It's like 40 sets of eyes on it, maybe at most. That's not nearly quite the number as thousands of players. So when you find those bugs or have those core issues, we will absolutely track them down and provide fixes. We also, of course, have consoles coming out in the summer as well. Nice little screenshot of the Stellar Edition here with the steel back case, the 64-page mini art book, the original game soundtrack, all of these things soon, TM. Good. Some scope changes were also in the mix. I think maybe that's important to dive into as well. And we'll just talk about this kind of also briefly, but there were some things that we did want to do that just kind of didn't quite work out in the moment. And those specific things are listed right here. We even talked about them. I personally talked about them in the streams because they were in the plans, and we had to adjust because there were greater priorities more important to the game space, like more item sets, more catalysts, cockpit customization, and difficulty settings affecting not just stats, okay? All of these things were modified, changed, or dumped for 1.0. That does not mean they will never happen. It means that it just didn't make 1.0. So, but because of that, we were able to redirect our focus into more community requests. So, I've spoken on this one before, but ship customization is a sound example of this, because before, we were just gonna do like this internal cockpit customization sort of thing, and we found out that the work that we would have to pour into that was not gonna have nearly a visual effect as we really wanted it to have. So while it would have been cool, for sure, it made much more sense for us to go, you know what would have a strong visual impact? And that's why we rotated. We saw the requests coming out anyway, and we're like, let's make the cockpit color changeable, as well as give different engine trails. And we're very happy with those results. I hope that you will be too. So going that particular route gives much more visual customization, especially in third-person mode, without sacrificing the direction that we needed to take priority elements. Last but not least, man, that's a glorious image of a Leviathan creature. Oh, I love that concept piece. That is great. Last but not least, we do have a little bit of stuff to talk about for our Linux player base. We're gonna try and swoop through this very quickly. And yeah, so basically, let's start here. I wanna take this I want to take this moment. I want to focus on all of our Linux players out there, okay? So like everybody else, you can just kind of like sit down, you can kind of back off, because I want to give my full undivided attention to our Linux player base. We are taking this very seriously, okay? Very seriously. Our approach to native Linux support was there from the beginning. I know a lot of you have been questioning that, like, oh, well, did you just try to like tack it on at the end? No. This was actually planned from the very, very beginning of development, okay? I want you guys to know that. We thought there was a really great handle on it. We did. That's why we kept preaching it. That's why we said, yeah, this is totally gonna happen. We've gone through the motions of Everspace 1 and... well, yeah. We had that announcement last week's stream and it sucked for our Linux player base. And there's not really much else to say because it's not gonna be native Linux. And I know that a lot of you guys, that was the point, right? That was the point of playing on Linux. It was to be native. Proton? No. Like, I know it's not gonna cut you. It's gonna satisfy other Linux users out there, okay? And we are gonna further optimize Linux via Proton, okay? That's what we can do. Unfortunately, we cannot pursue native Linux, not at this time, okay? That's where we're at. We have opened up the doors for the backers who saw our promise of bringing native Linux to Everspace 2 way back when the Kickstarter opened, okay? So if you are one of those people who are like, I just can't stand Proton, this is what I wanted, okay, we're gonna refund you. That is what we're gonna have to do. That's gonna be our best result, okay? I'm not gonna pretend that this is something that's pleasurable for us, and I'm really sorry that this is the result that we've come to. I also hope you know that like, I'm hurting internally too for this great team who honestly put so much effort into trying to bring this to the table. And I know that for you guys, those Linux players out there, this could have been a flagship title for the Linux community. And it fell to the wayside, much like a lot of other native Linux games that then had to be utilized in a different way. All right, that all sounds really sad and depressing. But again, I wanted to make sure you guys know that we are taking this incredibly seriously. This isn't just a matter of us, oh, well, you know, it's a small player base and we don't really, no. Actually, this was something we truly wanted to do, and it sucks that we weren't able to bring it to fruition. So you have my condolences on your feelings, on where you're at with how we've gone about this process. And we've learned some even greater elements regarding how this needs to be communicated, as well as how to just establish native Linux in the freaking first place. And moving forward, we'll see what can be done. But right now, please know, full compensation for any Linux backers expecting native Linux. Complete compensation if you are a backer. So you can do that process over on the Kickstarter. All right, everyone else, you can now join back in. Everyone else, you can join back in. Thank you so much. I really need to talk to the Linux community because that, again, very important stuff. So, very important stuff. Let's bring up the mood a little bit because even though there were some hiccups along the way, you know, it's still important to note we have overcome a lot of hurdles. We've been able to champion elements that we didn't think were going to be possible through your support. The feedback and the ideas that you've poured out through all of the channels, really, whether it was a mainline delivery or it was through an experimental branch, wherever that came from, you guys really did push this to the next level. And truly, this is a massive thank you to accomplish these tasks. Are we done with every single little tidbit within the game space? There's going to be a couple more tweaks and elements here and there. I mean, we've already been seeing a little bit of feedback within the short time the game's been live, wildly enough. And we will keep doing our damnedest to bring these elements to where they truly need to be from our quality standards here at ROCKFISH. So that is how it is going down. That is how we're bringing this all together. And I do hope that you are going to join us for this continued wild ride. Look at all these features for freaking 1.0, the differences from fall. This is just the differences from fall alone. Oh my goodness. This is absurd. I can't even, goodness gravy, Hans Christian. This is nuts. And I'm so incredibly proud of this team for doing everything they possibly can, for pushing the limits of every element that we have sought after to ensure that it got the care and love and support in order to be at the quality standard that it needed to be. And if it wasn't reaching a quality standard that we wanted it, we found a way to either work around it or we cut it out completely to find alternative means. I know that not everyone's gonna be pleased with every single one of those decisions, but I truly mean this. We are so satisfied with the results, not just because of our vision and because of this team, but because of you, because of your support, because of what you've brought to the table and being so passionate and so active through the course of this early access. Whew! Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. So, I am rather positive we've got a bajillion questions to dive into. So I'm gonna take a very brief break after that much longer retrospective than I thought it was gonna be, but wow, what a ride! What an insane ride. And let's, yeah, we're gonna get back into some gameplay while answering those questions. So, whew, give me 1 second to line things up, and then away we'll go. I see a question over in the chat that says, can I still be a backer? Oh, a little late on that one. Goodness, no, we do not have things open for backers anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and start playing another build out here, just for some kicks and giggles. Let's go over here to the Drake signals. And Gary, go ahead and start throwing some questions at us so that we can get those clarifying details going.
Cool. One of them is really a request. Some people want to see some planetary surfaces in the game, if you could show that off.
Yeah, sure. I'll start on the way to do that and go ahead and jump over to the next question.
Excellent. Slithering Peanut, bit of a cheeky one, this one. Is there or will there be any Viridian paint colors? The illegal one from the mission, obviously.
There is a Viridian paint color. It's in there. Yeah.
They probably haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Definitely be looking around. I want to go to the Gilbert Naval Base in all of its glory. However, I will say that OBS and Everspace 2, whenever we go there, they don't play nice together. So we'd probably get some frame rate issues. I'm gonna try and go somewhere else. Let's go to maybe go to Motor Rift. That might be nice and calming. Oh.
Yet another G&B general broadcast.
Hey, I'm gonna briefly talk about this before we answer another question.
Of more dire circumstances.
So,
Everybody tooling up more to outdo each other?
I believe you know the procedure at this point.
so what's happening right here? Let me explain the procedure at this point. When you are playing through Everspace 2, there are levels associated with all of the locations, okay? This is not something where everything just dynamically scales straight to you. If you heard somebody else talking about it, it's because they were on a different version or a older version of the game. That is no longer the case. Every single location has its own level association. Now, there are key intervals of the story, how you are moving through this process, that will then level up previously bound areas. We're at level 30. This is the final one to hit, and it boosts everything so that it is relevant at max level. Okay? It boosts everything up. This is the final one. So, any sort of side quests or missions that you haven't quite done yet, look at this. We haven't completed these. They were lesser levels, but now they're level 30s. You will get all of the rewards accordingly through that. And of course, all of the itemization will then be adjusted as well. And yeah, I think that makes sense for the majority of this audience, I think. Probably. It all boosts up at the end game for relevancy of everything. But on your journey through, there are locations that are great to go for if you're like under-leveled, and there are locations that will absolutely savage you if you do not prepare. So let's see what this does to our frame rate. I want to show this location per request. While I'm doing that, let's get another question in. Let's get another question in.
Right. We have Spoon Knight is wanting to know if every patch note was compiled to one list, how many words would it have compared to Everspace's 2 dialogue?
Oh, it's about 4 times. It's about 4 times. If you're looking specifically, well, actually, I should clarify. If you're looking at the dialogue delivered by voice actors alone, like the characters within the game space, as well as descriptions, as well as like the characters in the codec and everything, that's like 4 times the amount of text. The question specifically asking regarding coding, is that what I understood?
No, it's every patch note was compiled to one list. How many words would have?
Oh,
would it have
oh
been
my gosh!
compared?
That went completely over my head. I got to thinking because we've had so many discussions of people wondering like, well, how much dialogue is in the game? It is an absurd amount of dialogue. Honestly, so much text, so many translations, and yeah, it's nuts. It really is nuts. Regarding the patch notes, I'd have to do a count. Why don't you get on that? Can you tell us? Oh my goodness.
Lots.
That's right. That's right. So this is a location that you can absolutely go to a bit later in the game, actually. So this might be the first time streaming at this location, I think. But regardless, let's go ahead and answer another question while I'm just floating around. Frame rate's looking okay, so we're gonna keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Right. The one question we've had just coming from a new player. One question. Difficulty settings still have an impact on loot and resources drop rate, or is it still the scaling rate, or any changes?
Yeah, it does not impact any drop rates whatsoever. In fact, we intentionally designed it to not do that. We did not want drop rates to be affected by difficulty. So the only time where that is technically true is when you get into the lunacy level of a rift, in which case the lunacy does impact the quality of loot. Fly, my pretties! All right, next question, please.
We haven't got anything lined up.
Okay.
However, I just want to point out to everybody that's in the chat, if you do come across some bugs, we've tried to release the game in obviously as best condition as we can. Please do stick them up on the Steam forums for us to catalog and look at, and then we'll try to deal with them as soon as we can.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say, I mean, we're all gamers here. Let's be realistic. Anytime a game hits full release launch, any game at all, like you name a game and I'll tell you, yep, that happened. Any game that launches, it's gonna need just a little bit of something else that kind of follows up. And we are planning on doing that. We know it's inevitable. This game is not the epitome of perfection in the slightest, you know, so help us achieve it. Help us get there. So if you do encounter a bug, if you're having some sort of problem, even if it's specific for your system, like your specs, let us know so we can do something about it. Because we do want to make sure we've got this and the most accessible way. Oh, I forgot this is the blocked way. I'm going the wrong way. We want to make sure this is the most accessible and the most optimized for every single player out there. As many users as we can, and we need your help to accomplish that. So we do hope that you enjoy playing the game. If you encounter something crazy, please consider bringing it to our attention on the forums, on the Discord, on Reddit, on, you know, whatever your comfortable space is to do so, so we can address it. So yeah, let's go ahead and do another question as I'm pummeling this fool. Oh, maybe not. Those shields
I've got
are up.
nothing lined up just yet.
Okay. Cool, excellent.
Oh, actually, sorry, Slurry's just asked, are Dreadnoughts going to make it into the game eventually?
That is a... Wow, that's a wonderful question. I mean, I can personally say I hope so. I can personally say that. But, you know, I cannot guarantee that it's going to happen. I know that there were a lot of concepts and ideas that we had regarding the Outlaw Destroyer. If those of you out there are like, what are you talking about? What's the Outlaw Destroyer? Here, hang on a second. Maybe I can hook you up. Oh, I moved my folder that has all the concept art. I'd have to dig a little bit. Dang it. Well, regardless, it's a large... The concept of the Outlaw Dreadnought is a massive ship that you would actually be able to fly inside of, okay? That's the concept. Was this ever realized? No, it was not. It was not realized. But that doesn't mean it can't be. So, yeah. Can't be more direct than that. I know it's a non-answer and it's you know, it's strange, but we do have DLC in the works. Actually, not quite in the works. So I mean, we've been talking about it. We're kind of writing down ideas. So it's in the works. We could say that. As well as, you know, free updates. At least one free update. Woo, careful with the wording there. At least one free update following full release as well. So, whew, so much. Next question, please. If there's one.
Yeah, I've got one just come through. Rival over on YouTube is asking, were there any games in particular that you drew inspiration from when creating Everspace 2? I know obviously we've gone through this before, but I think...
Oh yeah, it's fine. I love the question. I love the question. Yeah, because there's so much influence that we honestly drew from. And I mean, even in this combat right here, right now, it might even be possible to see where some of the influence was drawn from. You know, we can go as far back as like the original Elite and Privateer and Wing Commander and Descent, and you can throw Star Fox in there. You can throw Star Wars X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Rogue Squadron. You can, like, it's a lot of these classic spaceship shooters that we drew a lot of inspiration from. And it certainly goes up to even to like Freelancer, right? It goes into Freelancer. We took a lot of inspiration from Freelancer. I think Chris Roberts, you know, he was making plays, right? And there's a lot that we enjoyed out of that experience where you have a bit more of an arcadey approach instead of going so simulation that, you know, it can take a while to get into that. And nothing wrong with Space Sims, okay? Like nothing wrong with Space Sims, but that's just not the direction we wanted to take the game, right? We wanted to do something else. We wanted to do something else. And so that's what we're doing. In addition to all those games we just mentioned as kind of the core of the title, we absolutely drew inspiration from other sources like novels and books and TV series, etc., etc., etc. We could go on forever, but Blade Runner is a big one that we drew some inspiration from, especially Michael in particular. We drew a lot of inspiration from like Dune, for example. We drew inspiration from Firefly. You could even put Spaceballs in there. Wow. You could do, goodness. There's so much. I mean, Diablo and Destiny should also feel a little bit familiar if you're playing this game. Those are absolutely pieces of influence. Looking over, you know, yeah, I did say Spaceballs, not even joking. If you're living in a bubble and you haven't got a care, la da 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 da, well, you're gonna be in trouble, cause we're gonna steal your air. Cause what you got is what we need, and all we do are dirty deeds with the Spaceballs. Watch out! All right, I'm done. All right.
Thank God for that.
Absolutely savage. Ludicrous speed. Oh, I see it. Beautiful. Yeah, Wing Commander, definitely. All right, we're gonna try and do this. We're probably gonna tank the OBS a little bit, but really enjoy the visual appeal of this, so I'm gonna try it anyway. We're probably gonna lose some frames, but I did want to show you this location. I feel like the one I just showed you, it's a little smaller site, so let's give you a bigger one. So very, very good. I've seen the quotes in the chat. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Frames are okay.
Call this place a beach resort.
But yeah, we're just gonna dip down in the water. Just take a little dip. What could possibly go wrong down here? Oh yeah, that's pleasant. Let's make it incredibly atmospheric. Oh yeah, that's not creepy at all.
Redeemers are approaching.
I also chose the wrong side to come down on, because there's actually stuff that you do find underwater. There's hidden loot down here. But yeah, you do have to be a little bit careful in your searching. Pop out. Oh yeah, here we go. So really happy with the way that this location came out. delightfully atmospheric is what I will call it. Ooh, that's gonna hurt my drones. Don't hurt my drones. We can repair them with the Vindicator by picking up those wrecks. Get out of here. Nice focus. Oh no, don't pop my drones. No, Jeffrey. Don't do it here. Let's focus down their carrier. Oh yeah, that's good damage. That's good damage. Nice. Let's try and get ourselves out of that predicament. Beautiful. And Gary, when you do have more questions, go ahead and feed them to me. So guys, do know that we have about 10 minutes left in this particular celebration retrospective live stream to show you where we've been, how things have all come together, you know, the most beautiful joys we've had, and you know, some of the things that we, you know, had to step around and have had to kind of deal with. It's all been part of this process, and we are so thankful that you've been in for the ride to make this truly the best game it can possibly be. So thank you. And questions. What do we got?
Right, just one question we've got lined up for my Fungus on YouTube, and I'm wondering if you could define the different ship types and how they differ in gameplay.
That is a fantastic, phenomenal question. How many credits? Oh, this is great. Okay, I'm gonna use a dev cheat to basically get out of Dodge and head over to Prescott immediately. Immediately, just insta warp dev cheat. Because I want to show you this. Let's talk about the ship classes. That's a question that's come up a lot actually, and sometimes it's hard to fully explain, so let's just do that. Let's just explain. So what we're currently flying is the Vindicator. It's a drone boat. Doesn't have a lot of slots for weapons. You got 2 primaries and a secondary. So you have to be particular about what you're choosing. One could argue that my build right here sucks. Kind of does actually. But the main key ingredient here is that your drones, they can do some pretty distinct damage. Every single ship has what's called expertise that you can improve as a stat, which helps that uniqueness of the ship itself exceed greatness, right? Increases it so much more. And then every single ship has a special. This one's called Reanimator, so you can pick up basically floating garbage, debris, and repair your drones. We have its ultimate, which focus fires all your drones on a target. Every single ship, I'm blocking things now. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to deal with it. Every single class of ship has unique passives that it can only have. So even though you can't see it, one of them here, I have an extra drone slot. None of the other ships can even have drones. So this getting an extra drone slot is increasing that from 5 to 6. So there's a lot of distinctness that occurs between ship classes. So let's talk a little bit more about the other ship classes too. So we have the Vanguard here. I was flying this early in the stream. This thing is the fastest ship. And what it does is it gets a bonus damage in firing at the rear, specifically bonus crit chance. And in addition to that, it also has the ultimate known as Time Extender, and it has overcharge, so anytime you're boosting, your shield can double. So that's its format of protection. You always want to be boosting this thing. You want to maximize your shields through that process. We have the Stinger. The Stinger is another light fighter. It's pretty dang fast, not fast as the Vanguard, but who needs to be fast when you got more guns? This has a 3rd hard point that is activated anytime you use a device, because it is a device master. All of your devices also get increased by 1 additional level, and it has Void Swarm as its ultimate. Oh, I love it. It's delicious. It just flies around and consumes your opponent's ships, and then brings it back and repairs you. We've got the Striker. This guy loves close combat. He's got a quantum tether that when you apply it to a target, it binds itself to everything else. Firing at said target hits everything it's bound to. Very powerful when there's a strong middle target focus with a bunch of fighters trying to protect it. In addition to that, the Striker also has the expertise of gaining additional boost speed. So once it be inside of that close combat range, it will get you there. Next up, we have the Sentinel. This is the starting ship. This bad boy uses an induction specialty, so the more shields you have, the faster your fire rate is. It goes up to a maximum of 20% when your shields are full. Its ultimate is Emperor Palpatine, Static Overload, and when you fire this bad boy, it will branch out an arc lightning in every single direction and just eradicate. It's wonderful. Now, its single target DPS is not so great, but the fact that it's hitting everything all at the same time and you can change those targets whenever, unlike the Striker, which the Striker can only focus on one, the Sentinel just completely crushes things, right? It's delightful. I think that its expertise is shield damage reduction. So it's just a straight up mitigation for your shields, absorbing damage, completely negating it. Next up, we have the Interceptor, which I had to do a double take there. That almost looked like a scout. I was like, whoa, hang on a second, but that's cool. So the Interceptor is all about fire rate and fire power. It's got a power converter, and it's similarly useful to how it was in Everspace 1, to where when you run out of energy for your weapons, you can keep firing using the energy from your boost. The reason I say like Everspace 1 is because Everspace 1 combined both your weapons and your boost into one energy slot. So it's kind of like that. If you want more Daka, you can just pull it straight out of your engine. In addition, it's got weapon overdrive, which increases fire rate, increases damage, increases redness. Literally, your screen goes red because it's just like violent mode. And just the outsourcing of damage is fantastic. It's delightful. Next up, we have the gunship. It has a turret as well as 2 additional hard points. So every single weapon in the game, when used by the gunship, deals twice as much damage, but drains its energy twice as quickly. There's a lot of ways that you can work around that, so it can be a very effective choice. The turret is automated when you utilize it, and it will lock onto your foes and just blast them to smithereens. It is the ult though, so it does have to be charged up. It's a very powerful ult because you don't have to focus fire, and it can recharge fairly quickly if you get the right build around it. So don't look at that and be like, well, this ult is just a turret in comparison to freaking unlimited power over here. No, it's very effective, very effective. Next up, we have the bomber with arguably the best ult, actually, right after talking about the turret. But anyway, the bomber is all about converting secondaries into pure energy. So instead of using the secondary weapon, you're like not shooting out missiles, you're creating energy missiles, firing those, and it recharges. And you can do that constantly, it just has to recharge. It has the Arc 9000 for those who are not familiar with it. It's like the BFG, all right? It's like the BFG. Fires forward, hits everything even close to it, and then it erupts in a massive explosion that, if you're not careful, can also quickly eliminate yourself. We have the Vindicator we talked about as a reanimator, blah, 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 blah. And then finally we have the Scout. Finally we have the Scout. The Scout is a delightful little ship. It's highly maneuverable. It's not the fastest of the light fighters, but it's got some great handling regardless. And this thing loves range. Its special increases the damage the further the distance you are from your foe. Its ultimate gives you a cloak. If you strike from your cloak, you do a ridiculous amount of bonus damage. Combine those two in and of itself, you're already looking at dropping foes in a ridiculous fashion before they even realize you're in the area. Yeah, that's your tour of all the different ships. They're very distinct. They each have unique traits bound to them. Again, I didn't even go over all the different passives, but each one of those can kind of help define a unique style or play even further based on the device usage you have it, surrounding the different items that you are capitalizing on, etc., etc., etc. And just so everybody is clear, no item in the entire game is exclusive to any class. As we just mentioned about the Scout being great at range, of course it's going to prefer something like the Railgun. Of course, this is the longest ranged weapon in the entire game, but that doesn't mean we can't use it here on our Vindicator. So it's going to come down to the build that you establish, the modifiers you have present, the passives in place, the devices being used, the perks you have set up for yourself to bring everything together. I also missed something else there. There's a lot. There's a lot. So, wow. That was the summary, and it took like 10 minutes.
Yeah, sorry about
Woo! No, it's totally fine. But that actually does bring us to the end of the stream. Goodness, that was a lot. But hopefully that was informative, so you guys now have a much better understanding of the different freaking ships. Because that's important to know. The ships also, last bit. The ships themselves will become available once you get to a certain part in the story from ship dealers. So at the very beginning of the game, you're going to be flying around in the probably the greatest all-arounder, which is the Sentinel for Everspace 2. It's the energy fighter. It's why am I describing it? I can just show you. It's this bad boy. And yeah, it's going to give you a little bit of an edge in all playing fields. And then once you're ready to try another one, you just swap out your ship for another one, or straight up purchase a new one so that you can hold multiple ships at your home base. And yeah, cool, excellent. ETA on day 1 patch. Hopefully we don't have to do a day 1 patch unless there's major problems that I'm not knowing are going on. But pretty sure that we killed any of the major issues before launch. But I digress. So, guys, this is actually the conclusion of the stream. I know there were so many more questions that were asked, and I am so thankful that you guys are curious and want to know more. You have a desire to explore this game. It's clear to me. And if you want to continue that conversation, by all means, I implore you to join us on the Discord. Shoot us questions over in the Ask RFG channel, where I and other members of the community would love to fill you in on those details. If any of the information that was said during the stream you would like to go back into and kind of like understand, note that we have so many videos on YouTube. We have so much information on Steam and on Discord, and goodness, the amount of information is wild. So if you do need more specificities, feel free to ping us. We can help you out. We can help you out. Specifically ping me. Don't bother Michael. He's super busy at the moment. Anyway, sincerely, I think that there's not really anything else to say other than just thank you. Gary, did you have any words? Did you want to dive in here and have a chat with the community too?
They've been amazing. If you do come across errors, as Eric has already said, then please do post them up. We want to get them fixed. We want you to have an excellent experience within the game, and we want to get those bugs squashed as soon as we can. And well, the team have been amazing. You guys have been amazing, and we will see you on the Discord, on the Steam forums, and everywhere else.
Awesome. Thanks, Gary. And thank you to everybody out there who's been watching the stream, being curious, getting to know more about what's going on in this game space that is in the 1.0 full release state, which you can buy now over on Steam, over on Good Old Games. And yeah, just freaking go ham. We've made this purely out of love for you, with you. There's parts of this that were by you guys. Oh my gosh, we're so happy that we've made it this far. So, don't stop being awesome, and I won't stop being Eric Schrader, your community ambassador for ROCKFISH Games. We will keep doing streams on Fridays. Tomorrow we're not going to stream. Tomorrow we're taking off. This is important. Enjoy your Easter holiday and all the festivities thereof. But we will be back to stream next Friday, and yeah, cruising through the next steps. Whew. I'm going to go take a nap. Toodles! Woo! We can't have a 1.0 stream without ending with some shenanigans. Am I right? Am I right? Share the game with the world, folks. Sincerely, thank you to everyone. Let's be goofy. Thank you for buying Everspace 2 because it supports us. Oh yeah, I don't know how to improvise lyrics. Boom. I didn't know how to end that. All right. I didn't know how to end that. All right. Oh gosh, it's coming through. Slow down, Discord. Okay. Oh my goodness. That was phenomenal. And when I refer to that, I'm obviously referring to the 1.0 release and having just a fantastic time with all of this. Oh goodness. Thanks for putting up with me, and I hope so much that you'll put up with me even longer as we cruise into the next phase of Everspace 2, both in the format of free goodies for you just for existing and supporting us, as well as an absolutely stellar, grand packaged expansion coming out in 2024. Enjoy your Easter weekend, play lots of Everspace 2, and don't forget to share screenshots of your adventures. Thank you so much, and good night. Toodles.